Welcome. Build Out here. Super excited about this video. And in this video, we're going to talk about maximizing benefits on our projects. I love this topic. It's so important for project managers to focus on scope and schedule and budget. I totally get that. But we have to focus on value and benefits as well. And that's what makes the difference on what project we're delivering. Does that make sense? Okay, let's dive in. As I said, today's video is really about understanding and shifting the focus to the value, the ROI, the benefits of our projects, and not just focusing on scope, schedule, and budget. I've been talking about this for years. We have to start making this shift soon because it's not about just getting things done anymore. It's about focusing on benefits and value and not just checking a box. But before I go too far, I want to do a quick introduction. My name is Bill Dow. I have 30 plus years of hands-on experience in the project management industry. For the last 20 years, I've been managing large PMO offices, 10 PMOs across 4 different companies. So I really am pretty experienced in this space, and I love sharing my background and experiences. I want to officially welcome you to the Dow Publishing LLC YouTube channel. This is where I share all my best practices around PMOs and project management. So really, thank you for watching. I really appreciate it. Okay, let's get into this. So for this video, we're going to cover my top 5 best practices around how do you shift and get project managers and project teams to think about the value and the ROI and the benefits of projects, and not just about scope, schedule, and budget. Does that make sense? Okay, so the first thing we want to talk about is the ever-changing project landscape, right? Projects are changing all this time. In this fast-paced world, we're still catching up from COVID. We're still catching up, and it's not about just getting things done anymore. It's not about just cranking through the project. We need to change the mindset of our project managers and our team members to start focusing on the projects and the value that those projects will bring to the company, to the unit, to the organization, and how does it align to the strategic goals. So what projects are we delivering? How does it align? What value do we bring? When we make that mindset shift, and I've seen it before, it's absolutely amazing because the whole team is really trying to drive and understand what are we delivering and what's the value that that project delivers. Does that make sense? So you want to talk to the team members, you want to get them thinking about the ROI, the benefits and the value of the project, and then as you execute through the projects, they're all going to shift, right? They're all going to think, hey, if we change this scope, how does that affect the value? So it's really the top and the first one to talk about is the mindset shift. That makes sense? Number 2, navigating the change in a rapidly changing environment. That's the other thing. Projects are changing all the time. So how does the changing environment shifts the team's focus, making it even more critical to think about the intended benefits? Does that make sense? So when projects change, and say, for example, they change scope, or they add scope, or they lose scope, or they change a deadline, right, or miss a deadline, how does those changing of the scope affect the intended benefits of what this project's all about? You as a project manager, you need to be watching that. You need to be watching that closely and working with your team closely. I got a quick question. Before I continue, quick question. Do you consider benefits in your project trade-off decisions? So when you start a project, you say this project's about scope or this project's about time, the triple constraints. Do you add benefits to that process as well, or how does that work? Comment below. Let me know what you think. Let me know how you incorporate, or if you incorporate, benefits into your project. Make sense? Okay, let's keep going. Number 3, defining and reviewing the project benefits, right? I saw a poll earlier and that had an interesting trend to it. It was fascinating because it said half the participants that voted, they said that they define the benefits at the beginning of the project, which totally makes sense, and then they revisit those benefits throughout the life of the project. So they're constantly looking at that, which is great. But that was half the poll. That was half the people that voted. The question is, what's happening with the other half? Are they just defining the benefits and then never looking again? And how does that affect the execution and the scope changes and, all those changes that would happen on a project? That's interesting, right? Number 4, the cost of missing target dates in a scarce resource environment. Right? So missing project target dates is increasingly becoming costly, right? We're seeing that all the time. We're seeing projects go long, right? Our new scope changes added and we're missing those original target dates. And maybe that's okay because the scope is really driving towards the intended benefits and we're always learning more and I get that. But how does that impact the other projects that are going on in the project in the organization? So these couple projects are going long. What's the trickle down effect of that? And do we think about that? Are we really moving the bar to care about benefits? Right. And scope changes often allow that, but we have to be really, really careful. And we've got to work with our executive teams and our sponsors and our stakeholders and say, hey, we're moving this bar and we're changing this particular project. But are we looking at all the other projects? And companies have to align for that. And then number 5, which is embracing change, a bigger focus on benefits on our project. And I can't stress this enough. As we navigate towards kind of shifting towards value, ROI, benefits realization, right? What's the overarching message here? Well, it's very clear. Project managers have to drive. We're doing these projects for a reason. We're doing these projects and we're going to get this ROI. We're going to get this benefit. We're going to get this value. So we have to step away from scope, schedule, and budget and focus on those as well as ROI, value, benefits realization. Does that make sense? Because it's so important as you move your project management maturity bar and you move your mindset of your team members, all that's critical. So I want to conclude today. We've covered 5 of the best practices around how do you shift the mindset, how do you shift the communications, what happens when we add scope, what happens when we go a little bit longer. But all of this is to really get you thinking the value and the importance of value realization on our projects. Make sense? Awesome. Thank you so much for watching. Please like, subscribe. Let me know in the comments below because I think it's really important to stay engaged, stay connected, and let me know if you're tracking value in your projects as well. Thank you very much, and I'll see you online. Thanks.